Hello, and welcome to White Fox Plays, a new segment, video, series. I'm not sure what it is yet, but a new just video that we're going to do today about a new game coming out called Halo Flashpoint. And with me today is Luke, aka Frostbite. Luke, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm
Fantastic.
Really good. Excited
We've
to
already
chat.
we've already had this chit chat, but just
Well,
we're human and we're doing it live. So
I love it.
uh go ahead.
No, I was saying I love it. I love being here. I'm excited to talk about some nerdy stuff, Halo, board games, minis, all of that.
Absolutely. We are going to get into talking about Halo Flashpoint because Luke had the scoop on Halo Flashpoint because he was actually on location at GAMA Expo, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Perfect. And he shot
Yeah,
me
I
a
was.
couple pictures and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?"
Yeah, I was. So, Gamma Expo is kind of. They moved it. It used to be in Reno. Now it's in Louisville. So right in my backyard. And if you don't know what Gamma Expo is, it's basically a trade show for the like tabletop industry. So board games, miniatures, um, D&D, like TTRPGs, all that stuff. People have booths set up. People take meetings, pitches, sales pitches, all of that. Um, and it's meant for the industry. So developers, publishers, logistics companies, shipping, manufacturers, all of that. All those people are there. And so if you haven't heard of it, that's probably why.
Yeah, I don't even remember seeing you posting, "Oh, I'm going to GamaCon," and then you were just like there. But
There.
but let us tell us. So why were you at GamaCon?
Yeah. So I work with a nonprofit called Love Thy Nerd. We exist to love and serve our nerdy neighbors, and we do that by a whole slew of things. We have a website with articles on how to do the things that we do. We have a whole podcast network, which has some pretty banger podcasts on it. One
It
in
does.
particular.
The RPG
um,
rundown.
oh yeah, if you haven't heard of that, you should check it out. Um, but we also take physical trips to different conventions and partner up with different companies and publishers and just supply them with kind of some of the best workers that they've ever had. Because a lot of these companies, they're only like even the big ones are only like five, six, 8 people like that
Hmm.
work full time for these companies. And when they have big booths at these shows, like they need extra help. And so we swoop in, help them learn their games, just carry ourselves well because we want to represent them well. And so Gamma Expo is no exception to that. And we partnered up with some publishers there, plugged a couple of people in to just help demo games and make pitches and all of that good stuff. And so yeah, that got our foot in the door. I was able to help out there and just be able to wander around. And on my first wander, I saw the Mantic booth before it even had anything in it. They had their like backdrop up with a big Spartan on it, and I was just like,
Oh,
I
gonna have
need to
to.
stop back by here when they're
Yeah,
done setting up.
yeah, for sure. So getting to the whole reason we're doing this. If you don't know who Mantic is, they are a tabletop company. They have a couple. They have several really good games actually. Um, they have. Let's see, what's the big one that kind of everyone knows?
I'm
Let's
looking at their
see.
website now. They got their top ones here just on their front page. Kings of War, Walking
Hmm.
Dead, All Out War, Dead Zone, Firefight,
Dead Zone, yes. That's
Armada.
Yeah, and I think there was another one that they were doing. They have Hellboy, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool. But yeah, so I think when we get into it, I think Halo Flashpoint is going to most closely resemble Dead Zone, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so one of the reasons why I asked Luke to do this today was because one, he got to be there and check it all out in person, and so I want to get his impressions on it. But then two, he actually sent me more photos and videos than I have seen on the internet collectively at this point. So I just wanted to share those, especially because I know today, as of recording, it is March 19th. Adepticon starts tomorrow on the 20th. And I know at Adepticon, they're supposed to have a booth and actually finally be offering live demos of it. And then also, I think some more information on the website is supposed to go live at that time as well. Right now, it's just a splash screen with their teaser trailer. So, which we'll watch that too here in a second. But yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and move it over to the presentation, and we can start looking at some stuff while we chat about it. So,
For sure.
all right, so I've got a couple different things here. These were the first four models
Uh-huh.
that they showed in their press release. It's actually the second press release, I think, but it's the painted models. It's got the purple, the green, the kind of tan, and the blue Spartan with the red arm. They look amazing.
Yeah.
And so this was, one of the first things I saw of it. This is really the only picture they have out officially. Like there is not any official photos of any of the product. All the photos you see are photos that people got from GAMACon or GAMA Expo. And so, looking at that though, in their press release, it's going to be really hard to read on the screen. You could maybe pause, but this was their press release. It said, today, UK-based tabletop studio Mantic Games announced a partnership with 343 Industries to launch a brand new Halo Miniatures combat game. Launching directly to retail, meaning no Kickstarter. It says September 24, but the teaser says fall 24, so we'll see which one it actually is.
Crossing my fingers.
I hope it's September. Actually, because I'm hoping to be at Gen Con, I would love if they had some early sales stuff there.
Oof.
That would be awesome. And bad for my wallet. But yeah, fans can eagerly look forward to an amazing Spartan miniatures that bring Halo multiplayer battles to life in an expertly crafted team combat game experience for tabletop, newcomers and veterans alike. We're thrilled to team up. This is 343 talking here. We're thrilled to team up with Mantic Games to bring a new Halo tabletop game to fans of 2024, says John Friend, head of Halo and Xbox consumer products. Mantic is a leader in tabletop games, and their quality and experience shows through in all of their work. I'm most excited in this case about their passion for Halo franchise and for bringing Halo gameplay to tabletop gaming in an incredibly authentic way. We're extremely excited to be partnering with 343 Industries on bringing Halo to the tabletop everywhere, says Ronnie Renton, CEO and founder of Mantic Games. Having a firefight play out on the table while moving Spartans in and out of cover connects players to the action in a new and special way. We have a thrilling and competitive game from a passionate team of talented sculptors, artists, and designers who have been building an incredible Halo experience. So that was their initial press release. But then whenever they actually released a little bit more about it. I'm trying to see where it was at, actually. Let's see. They did actually say a couple of things in a press release somewhere. Trying to find it here. But they did say that it was a 40 millimeter scale. Oh. I know that some people were questioning if it was like 28 or 32 millimeter. But But somewhere they did mention, and now, like I said, I'm having a hard time finding it because I know it was on their actual website. Let's see.
Yeah, they don't. There's not a whole lot on the website.
There's really
There's
not.
like a couple sentences, like a really short video, that
Yeah.
one picture with
Mm-hmm.
the 4 Spartans, and then like a place to sign up for updates.
All right. Well, now that we're back from a family interruption, uh, I love them, you know. So in one of their updates, I think it was in the very first one where they announced it. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. This was on like January 5th. Well, that's the one that I don't know where it was, but I swear they said 40 millimeter. So that is supposed to
I
be the
believe
same size as Marvel Crisis Protocol, I believe,
Okay.
which is a little bit bigger. And alternatively, I saw somebody say, well, it may be 28 millimeter scale, but the Spartans may be 40 millimeter because technically they are taller than a standard human. So we'll see. That's not, it's up in the air. Let's see. Gonna share this here. We don't need the music.
Yeah, this was on
We'll
their.
take a little music. So this was their teaser trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like one of the few things they have on their website.
Yeah, this
which
is
mostly
literally
just
the only thing
B-roll from the game.
from the
like,
video game. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then the actual 4 miniatures that they've released photos of. So, which did they even have those at?
They did, and I think that's the red team. That they're unpainted. Like
Right. We'll show
look at 'em,
those
it's
sculpts here in a
basically red
second. Yeah.
versus blue. Yeah.
Yeah. I do love that they have 2 different colors in the box. That way, if you
Mm-hmm.
don't paint them, it's easy to tell them apart. It's a little bit of a board game-esque treating
Yeah.
of it,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that it's perfectly fine for that because some
Oh
people
yeah.
won't paint their minis, and that's not a
I
problem.
haven't painted any of my minis up until this point, possibly.
Right, but you're also not a miniature war gamer to the
Not
point where
yet.
you have that, part of the hobby. Not yet. This is going to be your entry point for sure.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Spoilers. But yeah, so looking at the presentation again, this was their booth at GAMA Expo. I imagine it'll probably look pretty similar at
Oh
Adepticon.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So you mentioned too, and like on their website, it says, we'll have the first game demos debuting exclusively at Adepticon. But you can see right there,
they're
maybe it's
giving
not a
some
full
game
demo,
demos.
but people are
Right,
demoing it right there.
right.
And
I'm not gonna.
I honestly think, if I remember right, I remember talking to someone saying like, yeah, we like announced everything on Sunday, and then we like showed up here at Gamma.
Mhm.
But you were reading stuff from like January, so I think I'm trying to like see some dates here. There wasn't much out about it. I think they announced that their presence at Gamma specifically like the
Yeah.
week prior, and then they just showed up. And so I think this was just like an added thing. No one really expected them to be there, but they were there. Um, and I'm glad they were. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
was pleasantly surprised by this. Um, we already talked about Mantic having other games out already. You can kind of see in the bottom corner of this picture, they've got a Worms game coming out, which
Oh yeah, I can see that on
they
the shelf down there.
kickstarted just last year, and that is technically a miniatures game, but just like wrapped up like a board game, which I
Mhm.
think is a really good onboarding kind of like gateway to miniature gaming.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
because I ate that up. I'm a board gamer. I love that IP,
Yeah, yeah.
and honestly, that's what kind of stuck out to me as well with the name Mantic. Uh,
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, dude, they make a cool product there. They're just nailing it with the IPs for me.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, right? This is something that um, we, in some other articles that I read, there's not a lot out right now, but some other articles that I read, they were talking about how the pieces and the boards and the dice and the cards look very similar to Dead Zone,
Hmm.
which is their kind of generic sci-fi, or that's their own IP.
Hmm.
But they were saying, like, even if this is just mechanically very similar, the fact that it's the Halo IP
Hmm.
will do a lot to carry it forward, because they really like Dead Zone and they think the gameplay is really tight on it. It has mechanics for everything that they could very easily see it working with Halo.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so even if that's how it is, and we'll get to some other pictures here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like if you see there, it's D8s and D6s, which I think is the same kind of dice used for the mechanics. But those all the terrain there
Hmm.
in the right picture are like the thick cardstock, right?
It's like, yes, I can't recall what it is exactly, but it's like it's stiffer than just your typical like cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Almost like a wood feel to it.
Okay.
It's really sturdy, and that comes in like the base, the base set basically. So
Right.
they're in the picture on the right here. You can kind of see there's two sets.
Mm-hmm.
There's like an outdoor set and an indoor set.
Nice.
Um, and the the board itself, yeah. So right now, both of those boards that they're sitting on and the one you see on the left is just kind of a folded piece of paper.
Okay.
Um, but and then if you look at the picture on the left, there's two different versions. You got the Recon edition, which is your base, and then the Spartan edition. And the
Right.
main difference between the two is the Recon edition comes with the outdoor set, those containers
Okay.
and boxes and stuff, as well as the reversible mat. The it Again, just a kind of piece of paper and
Gotcha.
whatever. But it reverses to indoor outdoor. But it just comes with the base outdoor set,
And that's
and then
the
it comes
Recon
with,
edition.
yes,
Okay.
base edition. But it comes with both sets of teams, like red, blue, and then the Spartan edition comes with an upgraded mat. I can't remember. It's not going to be your like typical.
Is
I
it going
think
to
it's
be
like a
similar
board.
cardstock or board?
It might be a board. It's
Okay.
not a like a player mat, like a neoprene one.
Sure. Sure.
But again, it's going to be reversible.
Nice.
Um, and for the most part, it's just a grid.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, you could use almost anything. You could probably
Yeah.
print your own, if you wanted, like a neoprene thing.
Yeah.
But it comes with like the indoor set as well,
Okay.
that you see behind it, as well as I
So they're
think
supposed to be two versions of the same game then? Just one's kind of an upgraded version?
one's upgraded and has all the extras.
Okay.
So Recon Edition is, and we'll go ahead. I'm sure you have this on your list to talk about eventually, but we'll go ahead
Yeah.
and lay out the price.
Yeah, go ahead.
And
Let
again,
us know.
don't quote me on this. I
Subject to
feel
change, but this is what you were
subject to
told, right?
change, but what they told me was the Recon Edition was either 70 or 75,
Okay.
which I think is a great
Yeah, that's perfectly reasonable
introductory
for
like
eight
price line
minis
for just
and
like a brand new
terrain.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Spartan Edition, which also I want to say I have a picture of it later, but it comes with like Covenant uh minis. That next one shows you
Yeah.
the one after that.
Here's a close up of the Spartan minis.
Yeah.
I think there's 8 different sculpts, if
Yes.
I'm looking at it. So, but they are repeated in the boxes.
Hmm. But if you
But
go to
then,
that next one,
yeah, right
yeah, you got the
here,
Covenant right there.
which I know
And I
some people were
believe,
like decrying that they didn't have the Covenant.
yeah.
Um, But I think it's great. I mean, I think the more minis we get, the better.
For sure. And I think that comes with a set of 4 in the upgraded the Spartan version.
Okay.
And so all of that added stuff like the upgraded mat, the interior terrain, and then the extra 4 sets of minis, which also you can see behind like it's isometric, so like every character has its own perks, and you can
Yeah.
pick up different weapons and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but all of that, all the bonus stuff is $50 more for like
Which
120, 125.
which really is not bad. I mean,
Yeah.
looking at like the Warhammer or 40K equivalents,
Hmm.
they're easily $150 to $200, and that's usually just for one side of the army.
Yeah.
That's not even for, and this is not regular Warhammer 40K and Warhammer. I'm talking about their squad based, like tactical game, is that
Hmm.
much. So, so
Yeah. And
yeah,
you were talking about size earlier. Like, this is my hand. I don't have tiny hands.
no, no, they look like they're pretty good size, which honestly makes them easier to paint, but it
Yeah.
also gives the sculptures more detail to work with, which I'm excited
Hmm.
for. So, and then here's some of the cards.
Hmm.
It's really the same picture, but I zoomed in on the right so that we could see it a little better in the video. But it looks like basically that they have kind of different versions of the Spartans that come with like a different starting weapon, a different close combat weapon, maybe different abilities or shields, stats, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then also too, if you notice on the right side of the card, it says pickup slot.
Hmm.
So I love how they added that as a mechanic for picking up weapons on the map, like we
Yeah.
do in Halo multiplayer.
Yeah.
And then I know that there are cards as well as punch outs, like some of those card punch outs. I think they're in the same. I saw another picture from someone. They were in the same the card punch outs as the terrain was. So they're also thick and printed on and probably pretty nice quality. But
Yeah.
that
If
would
you go back to
that would
the
give it to you.
image, there's the side by side image of like the setup and then with the boxes. Yeah. You can
Yeah,
see right there
right
the
here.
different weapons,
Yeah.
like right below the card, like at the
Oh yeah,
bottom of
yeah,
the left.
right here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh
And
yeah, and
then
there's the card
and
punch
then
out.
there's the pickup. That's what you have on the board, those punch outs.
Hmm.
And then the cards you slide, yeah, right next to your player card. And
Yeah, that's pretty
and
great.
yeah, I was talking with those guys like
Do you know what these tokens are right here?
um either damage or just like effects.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Um I don't have a close up of those, I don't think. But like they're yeah. The cool thing is I was talking to the guys from Mantic, and I was just like, yeah, like I still run with a group. Like Seth and I, like we
Yeah.
still play Halo Customs occasionally on Fridays,
Mm-hmm.
where you know we're doing the silly things like, all right, rockets only, and different things like that. And these guys were like, that's exactly what this is. You can
Yeah.
run your Halo Customs just in a tabletop format where you can put all, only power weapons on the map. You
Man,
can randomize it and play Fiesta. You can do all of these custom games, but in like a tabletop format. And I was
I
just like, it
I
was just getting
love
me.
that they definitely thought about that.
You can
Um,
tell, you can tell they're Halo players
yeah.
because I walked up and I was just like, Halo caught my eye. Like I'm not a miniature gamer,
Yeah.
war gamer, but I'm just a Halo fan. And the guy I was talking to is like, yeah, we are too. Like that's why we went after the IP.
That's why we're here.
And so in their off hours when they're not designing games, they're playing Halo.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love that. Um, and yeah, that's the thing too. I feel like too part of again why I wanted us to have this discussion is that we're both huge Halo fans,
Hmm.
and then you are a massive board gamer, and I am really into miniature war games, specifically BattleTech, but I've dabbled in some others. And so this is literally the cross between two worlds here that we've been waiting for. I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, you and I've got several local friends that are just recently into BattleTech saying like, "Oh, you got to drop by Target and get Alpha Strike, like it'll get you hooked or whatever." And like
Yeah.
they're hooked. They've got the whole like cases full of stuff now. They're painting. They're making their own terrain,
Yeah.
3D printing all of that, and I'm
And
just
that
like,
game has been around for
I'm happy
40
for you.
years. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of bloat, but they do have really excellent ways to onboard into BattleTech.
Oh, sure.
And I think though that like part of, and I'm sure this is part of your excitement about this, is that it's like, hey, getting in on the ground floor,
Yeah.
I can get
And
everything
so,
there is, and just,
yeah,
you know, when they release more, I'll get
Warhammer.
that.
Yeah, like Warhammer, BattleTech, X-wing, all that
Hmm.
stuff is like it's daunting. It like you look at that
Yeah.
and it's just, where do you start? There's no shot I'll collect all of this, so like what do I even want?
So
This is all in.
yeah,
I'm a collector at heart, and so this is very approachable. It's like, hey, all you got to do is spend 120 bucks and you have all of it.
yeah,
And for that reason, I'm in.
yeah. I like they've had other Halo themed miniatures games in the past, but they never really caught the essence of Halo, like of
Mhm.
the actual gameplay of Halo. Instead, it was like there was a fleet battle. So it was like all the Covenant ships versus all the
Mm.
human ships. And,
Mhm.
I'm sure it was a decently,
Probably
fun
felt more like
game.
Halo Wars.
But, well, no. And I think that was probably more like X-Wing has Armada.
Sure.
So it was like to the point where you
Okay.
had like the big capital ships and then the medium
Yeah.
ships and then like the fighters were really tiny. So that was one. And then there was another one that was more like Halo Wars, where you had a big army, kind of like 40K, and you had ghosts with grunts and elites on them, and you had
Mhm.
scorpion tanks and wraiths and all that kind of stuff. But again, that's not really the essence of Halo. The essence of Halo is you're one guy, or
Yeah.
maybe you're a team of guys
Mhm.
who are fighting, and so I'm really excited to see this.
Yeah, this
Also,
is
there's a lot of opportunity for like competitive play with this.
sure. I mean, they've really captured the like multiplayer of Halo, and
Yeah.
you can tell it really reflects that of still having the strategy. If you
Hmm.
ever play with our friend Gundalf, he's always like, "Hey, we gotta lock down the map. We gotta get these angles."
Yeah.
So this is gonna carry over to tabletop very well,
Yeah.
and yeah, you like picking up weapons, being able to do like custom matches and like all sorts of stuff. It really captures that moment of having LAN parties back in the day, which
Yeah.
is I think Mantic is just really thought that out. Um,
Absolutely.
Even with the Worms game, I said I kickstarted that earlier. They If you've ever played Worms, the terrain is like you can destroy it, and they've really captured that in that game, in that miniature game, and so
Yeah.
you can tell they really love these IPs and they take care of them well.
Yeah.
Uh,
And you were kind enough to get some video, which I'm showing now. Um,
these are a lot shorter than I remember.
you thought they were a lot longer. Yeah. But no, I love this. I love the setup. I love how it looks like a multiplayer map,
Yeah.
and that it's also a square map.
Mm-hmm.
It's not small by any
Mm-hmm.
means. Looks like it's
Yeah.
about 2 foot by 2 foot, roughly. Um,
Yeah. About, and you can see the grid there. It's large
yeah,
squares. There's no measuring or
yeah.
anything like that.
Oh, I see the shield tokens now. So
Yeah, so their shield, there's probably some damage on the other side or something.
got the box shot.
Yeah.
There's the Covenant elites.
Yeah, the
I do
elites,
love
you
that
got
they included that. I think it also paves the way for eventually they'll probably have some actual like um, ability to do like more than just multiplayer. I could see them
sure.
easily saying, okay, now you're taking your squad and you're going through a scenario,
Yeah.
or a firefight even, where
Mm-hmm.
where say you have a squad of 4 and you
Absolutely.
have kind of a GM player, a
Yeah.
game master that like starts laying wave after wave of Covenant on the
That's
table. That would be fantastic. Mantic, if you're paying attention,
yeah.
these are
Oh,
these are free
I
ideas.
I'm certain they've thought of this. And yeah, if this
Probably.
takes off like any other miniature war game, like I'm gonna be able to just go out and buy, a warthog, like to add
Absolutely.
to my army, and a ghost, and like all these different things.
Yeah, I do like that they've got some different things there. Oh, we almost got a preview of the Covenant there. It looks like.
I mean, yeah, we mostly got that. It looks like he's got two weapons, like
He does
starts
have
with
two
two
weapons,
weapons.
yeah. Or he has grenades. That's what
Oh,
it
he's got
is.
plasma grenades.
That's
That's what
awesome.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Yeah, I grabbed what I could without really having a plan.
Yeah, I'm replaying that one so we can try to see it there. Yeah, that looks awesome.
But yeah, the minis, like the quality of them, I've just been introduced to Mantic because of some of their IPs. We talked about that being a gateway. But like with the worm stuff and then now this, now I'm hearing people like, "Oh yeah, like Mantic, they produce some great miniatures."
Yeah, that's what I've
And
heard.
well, from what I could tell, like, with my first experiences,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they look great. And in some of the videos, so these ones right here obviously aren't painted, but in some of the ones
Right.
that were like in the demos were painted by amateurs,
Sure.
and they looked
Like
fantastic.
I can see them there. They look like they're painted. They have green
Hmm.
flocking on the bases and
Yeah,
stuff. So yeah, you could
and
easily do red versus blue. Or I think
uh-huh,
what's also awesome is that we could, I mean, I could take a squad and I could say paint one up for me, one up for you, one up for
yeah,
Gundalf, one up for
yeah,
uh,
oh
Tad
yeah,
Hall. Like
yeah.
like we could have our custom colors and stuff like that. I
That's
just
the
want
thing,
them
man.
to make more. I
Yeah,
want them to make more of the
yeah.
customizations. So,
Or
which
sell
I've
them, and I'm sure they're gonna do it, sell them separately. But yeah, I would
I
love
could
to
see that.
have just like sets of them. Like that'd be so cool.
Or even
And
I doubt that
with the
they'll go
whole,
this granular where they sell like customizable parts where it's like a body
oh
with
sure,
a helmet, because really
sure,
that's
yeah,
the main thing
nah,
at this point. But they look like they're going for the single plastic, which is fine. Which is fine.
yeah, and I have that. So I've never painted a mini in my entire life.
It's gonna
Um,
change.
but if I get this, it definitely is. I'm already talking to my buddies here that have like whole paint booths and stuff.
Hmm.
But you know, these guys have it. Everyone's got that red armor, which I love. I'm thinking along the lines of having like the shades. So,
Oh yeah,
like you've got your navy blue
like the
and
old
your
red versus
teal and like a
blue
green.
videos where you had the red team was like the pink, the red, the orange, and the
Yeah,
dark maroon.
exactly.
And
Yep.
then you had the blue team, which was like the teal, the
Yep.
blue, the green, and
Yep.
the navy. Yeah, no, you could
Yeah,
absolutely do that,
absolutely.
or you could just go like dark colors and light colors or something,
Yeah.
or whatever you want to do. That is the beauty of painting
Hmm.
your own miniatures.
Hmm.
So no, that's
And again,
exciting.
yeah, and this has no limitations. So you could buy two of these. Like the end of this is, or like the limitation is your imagination. So you could
Hmm.
take two of these, set them up side by side, and have big team battles.
Oh yeah,
You and
I'll
you
probably
could,
buy both boxes. I mean, but even buying both, even if some of it's doubled, I'm getting double the minis, and it's still like $200
yeah,
for both boxes.
yeah. Um, Also, like while we're talking about that, I want to say when is Adepticon?
Adepticon starts tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
So
we're gonna
I
get
want to
info
say
real
after
soon.
this week, they're gonna open up pre-orders. Like they'd have to. If it's gonna get delivered by
September.
September or just fall, late
Even if they
fall.
don't open up pre-orders, I bet they'll have a bunch of photos that we can actually,
Yeah, but
inspect a lot of
I'm
stuff.
saying
But
I, I wish I took notes or like took video of them saying all this.
they were saying they're
Maybe they
probably gonna have
didn't
it.
want it out there. But no, they said pre-orders, if I'm remembering correctly. Pre-orders are going to open soon. I wanted to say this month. So after Adepticon, I would not be surprised. But with the pre-order, if you pre-order, you get a mini Master Chief. So
Well,
we haven't
then
seen it.
of course I'll be pre-ordering it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you get a Master Chief, and then you get, I don't know if it's an add-on or not, but you'll get a Master Chief color palette paint set.
Oh,
So
okay.
it'll have, the colors for his visor
Did they
and
say who, like,
army
what paint
green.
company was going to be doing it, or is it
You
Mantic
are not the first
specific?
person that asked me that. I
Yeah,
have
I
no
know,
idea.
right?
If they did tell me,
Okay, it wasn't
Sherwin-Williams.
Army Sherman Williams. That's fantastic.
No clue.
Okay, no, it's okay. We'll
And
find
that's my
out.
filthy casual, or not even casual, like my noob. I have no idea what any of this stuff is.
That's okay. We will get into it and we will educate you. I like how there's a gravity hammer in the middle of that field, by the way, that I just
Oh,
showed.
absolutely.
So, uh, no, this is fantastic. I am super excited for it. Um, Luke, I know that you are like, yes, I'm excited, but you also are, don't know what to expect. So, I mean, I think we're probably going to have to revisit this after Adepticon.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, I'm
we'll
gonna
put
be
out a
tracking
follow
this.
up.
Like I said, I signed up for the updates because I want to be able to pre-order this. And if you guys want to help me afford this, just shoot me a message. Um,
Absolutely.
but I'm in. Like this is really cool. I gotta
Yeah.
scrounge up some funds, but this just makes sense. Like we were talking earlier, it's a good intro. Like they've got a fantastic IP that's gonna draw a lot of people in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good game at its core, so it's gonna draw the miniature like war gamers in.
Well, and
And
so looking at Dead Zone, the
mhm.
2-player starter set for Dead Zone, which it looks like it comes with a little bit more miniatures and stuff, like maybe bigger. It's only 140.
Yeah,
But like just looking at it, I'm sure that this game is going to be made to be played in, probably 90 minutes or less.
yeah,
So that's exciting. Um, I'm pumped for it. Like I said, we'll definitely revisit after Adepticon because this is something I want to continue to cover. And I think also, Luke, we'll have to do some learn to paint with Luke or
oh yeah.
something. We
Like
could totally,
I don't
it's not
even.
hard. It's not hard at all. I promise you. Like, it's intimidating to think about, but they have things called speed paints or contrast paints, which
Yeah,
literally you just slap them on like a base coat, and it does all the highlighting and shading for you, and then you just paint in the detail, and it's incredibly easy. So
yeah. I like looking at it. So I've got some games behind me, just a few. But I've
yeah, a
got
little bit.
like Marvel United and some other things that have miniatures where I've seen people paint them, and I'm like, I'm fine with just the gray minis.
Hmm.
Like I don't care. It
But
works
after
just the
this,
same. But after like looking at this, and then one of the guys showed me one of the minis that he painted that he altered a little bit, so I wasn't able to get a picture of it,
hmm
but like it looked good. And he's like, I suck at painting. I just followed this like tutorial where
hmm
it just showed me step by step, first layer, spray your base, and then
yeah,
like just step by step. And I'm like, I could do that.
oh yeah,
And so
hands
it
down.
got me excited there. It gets me excited to kind of dive into something, and who knows, this could be the gateway, into something like BattleTech
Me and your friends are only hoping.
we'll see.
but no pressure. No pressure at all. So, awesome. Well, hey, Luke, thanks for coming and chatting and letting me share all these photos and videos. So if you are excited about Halo Flashpoint, leave a comment, give us a like, drop a subscribe if you want. We are going to cover it some more, but let us know in the comments how, if you want to correct us, did we say something wrong? Leave it in the comments. We'll take it.
Sure, I said something.
We're not. I'm not an expert on Mantic by any means, but I have played a lot of tabletop war games, and Luke's a board game aficionado. You can also follow us on Twitter at WhiteFoxSG or X if you prefer, and Luke is at Frostbite4. Luke also streams on Twitch, so you can check him out on those days as well. Playing some video games, sometimes Halo, sometimes Fortnite, sometimes Helldivers.
Sometimes board
You never
games.
know. Sometimes board games, exactly.
Maybe
so
some mini paintings in the future.
I think we're gonna have to do that at some point. So, anyway, thank you all for watching. We hope that you enjoyed this, and we can't wait to hear more about it from Adepticon. And then, like I said, we'll definitely follow up later about that, and then try to keep you guys informed. So, thank you all. Have a good one. God bless.
Bye.